Welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. We never skip a drink day.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Now grab a drink and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. As always, we are brought to you by Hard High, Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey, and Chilton County Peach Whiskey. We're on YouTube, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us a ton. And Kevin, I want to say we got new subscribers. We're trying to get as many subscribers as we can on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're not a patron, go to patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour, become a patron, because me and Kevin and Thomas have a plan for free agency where we are going to do every single big Saints breaking news free agent signing, and we're going to do it before anybody. So like when you're clamoring for that content and you're like, oh my God, the Saints just signed this guy, I need my Saints fixed, we're going to be first, because we're always first. Even if it's me behind a dumpster and Kevin outside on the porch somewhere in St. Louis, we get you the context. We make Thomas do all the work. We just stuff meats and cheeses in his mouth. So do that. So Kevin, today's podcast, we want to talk about running back, because running back is a really interesting discussion on Saints Twitter. And like the Saints were, I believe, second to last in explosive plays. Runs over 20 yards, and if you do runs over 10 yards, they're bottom three. So they need like an explosive guy at running back. And forget, yes, they need to fix the offensive line to help with the running, but they need like Kamara. He's getting old. He got injured. Like, we love him. He's a Saints legend, Hall of Famer, all of that. But like, they need explosive plays in a running back. So we're trying to figure out like how to solve running back. And I think we have to start here with Jeremiah Love. He's the guy everybody's fascinated with, and he's awesome. And just when you do your mocks, because I know you do a ton and you're in the mock draft channel on Discord, people should get in our Discord. It's amazing. Is he usually there at 8 when you're picking?
It's becoming more of a 50-50 split now.
Yeah.
I would say 2 weeks ago, he was more so there. In the last 2 weeks, a lot more often he is not.
Mm-hmm.
I think just this one, I've got one I'm running right now in the background here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went 6th overall. And so
who draft 6? Is that the Giants?
The Browns.
The Browns. And this the Browns, you say, oh, that's crazy, but the Browns have 2 firsts, and they, that would be wild for them to pick a running back while all 5 of their offensive linemen are free agents. But that would be a very Browns thing to do. But here's my larger point, and I'm glad you made it with the mock drafts, is, listen, everybody yells at me on Twitter when I say, hey, if I'm the Saints and I'm Mickey Loomis, you can't base your entire plan at running back on, we're going to get Jeremiah Love at 8, right? You can't do that. So my point is, I believe that the Saints are going to try to fix it in free agency. Now, listen, for this exercise, when I went shopping in free agency, I didn't do Breece Hall. I didn't do Kenneth Walker. Breece Hall, I think, is the reason I didn't do Breece Hall is I think the Jets are going to franchise him. So that complicates everything. Kenneth Walker, I didn't do him, Kevin, because I think Tennessee, I think the Texans, I think he's going to have a lot of suitors, and I just think he's going to be a hard get for the Saints, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. So here's my first choice at running back. My first choice at running back is Rico Dowdle. Now listen.
Okay.
You see the graphic from The Athletic up here? 2 years, $13 million. My thinking here is the Saints, you got to improve running back. but you still want to have it to where it's just a hedge. Like, you're not going to spend a crazy amount of money on a running back on like the second or third tier guy. And if you sign Rico Dowdell for 2 years, 13 million from the Panthers, that the Athletic has him at contract, that doesn't stop you at all from picking Love at 8, right? Because Kamara, this may be his last year. And the rest of your running backs, Kendra Miller, he's probably not even going to be on the roster. Estime, we like him. He's fun, but
right, he may not
Devin
be here.
Neal is fun. We like him, but is he going to be your feature back? No. So like in 2, so if you go Rico Dowdell and Jeremiah Love falls to 8, boom, you pick Jeremiah Love. We're like, we got Love, we got Dowdell, we got Kamara. It's a little crowded, but we can sort it out. And it's not like you make this giant financial commitment to Dowdell. But here's my question to you. Are you okay with my plan to kind of hedge, but spend a little bit of money on Dowdell? How would you feel about that if they did Dowdell and then you do Love?
I would feel strange investing both a large amount of capital and the top draft pick, like a top 10 draft pick at running back. I mean, it would excite the fan base. No dispute about that.
I mean, listen, if they did this plan, resource allocation, as the nerds would say, would be a little bit insane, because you'd have Alvin Kamara at 11.5 million. You'd have Rico Dowdell at 6.5. So that's 17, 18. And then you'd have Jeremiah Love at 8. So you'd have like $26 million of running back plus Neal and Estime. So you probably have like $28 million of running back, but whatever, it's not my money. And like, it'll all get, you won't be spending that next year, because this is probably Kamara's last year. And Kevin, my biggest fear is if you don't do anything at running back and you don't get Jeremiah Love at 8, then you're stuck holding the bag. But this leads me to my next point.
Okay.
And I want you to talk about your first guy in the draft that is not Jeremiah Love, right, but is another guy that we can talk about. So who did you find in the draft that not Jeremiah Love, which will make the fans a little bit not as excited, but you gotta find a solution at running back.
Okay, so this, I'm gonna pull back the curtain here for some of the listeners. This was going to be not about running backs specifically. This was originally going to be something about, fluctuations and who might have increased their draft stock with the Senior Bowl and whatnot. But on the Discord, which you get access to if you're a member of our Patreon.
You should do it. It's amazing.
Patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. So you see that, Ralph? I'm getting good at the synergy here. I'm getting real good at the plugs and tying it all together. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
The discussion was, oh man, this is a real poor draft for running backs. And if you don't get Jeremiah Love, you're really up against it. And there's not a lot of depth, this, that, and the other thing. I take that as a personal challenge to look at, I look at my mock drafts and I'm like, well, most of the time I'm trading down from 8. Sometimes I'm picking a player, and sometimes it is Jeremiah Love. And most times when I'm picking at 8, it's not Jeremiah Love. So I end up taking a running back later. So I decided to give myself a challenge and say, find the running backs find those running backs deep in the draft.
Deep
That
cuts.
means I even decided to give myself more of a challenge
Oh wow.
beyond round 3. Because
And
I immediately was thinking of Emmett Johnson of Nebraska, and I'm like, well, he's projected to go round 3, and I feel like his name comes up, or I've seen his name come up. Again, I'm basing this off of stuff I'm reading. This is not a film guy, not a tape reader,
but it's film,
blah, blah, blah.
but it's data. But it's data.
Right.
It's mock
I am-
drafts.
I-
It's
I
simulations.
am I am data, vibes, stuff I'm reading and seeing elsewhere.
And by the way, I want to tell the people last year, one of your guys was Devin Neal. We had him a lot in your mocks, and he had one of those grades. It was kind of all over the place. So continue.
As I take a sip of my whiskey here.
So continue.
Projected rounds 4 and below. So let's start with my guy that we had projected at round 4. Katron Allen out of Penn State. 5'11", 220. So he was partnered up with Nicholas Singleton. They were like just a dual threat combo.
Yeah.
Singleton got the way I'm reading this, Singleton got more of the pub, but Allen was just as capable. Also, Singleton, I think, hurt himself at the Senior Bowl or whatever. Like, he injured himself, and then also didn't have a good Senior Bowl in general.
Penn State was a mess all year. Aller got hurt, fired the coach. It's tricky going at Penn State.
No. So, hang on, I want to make sure I've got that right here. Okay, so pull this up. Oh, you pricks. Okay. So PFF has him at gives him an overall grade of 89.5, a rushing grade of 91.3. That's out of 100. 1,300 yards this past season on 210 carries. Now, mind you, that's with two guys in the backfield that Penn State had 2 top-notch running backs in the backfield. He didn't even play in 2 games, or 3 games. 2 games. I'm looking at this thing right now.
Yeah.
He did not play in 2 games. Nope.
I mean, listen, Penn State was a top.
I misread it.
What? We'll go read.
No. The DNP. The DNP that I saw, it's because Penn State didn't have an opponent that week. That's why I saw the DNP there. So he played in all the games.
Yeah.
He did play in all the games. I apologize for that. I always want to correct myself.
Penn State's roster was loaded. They were in the playoffs playing to be the number 1 team in the country. And like 3 weeks later, their coach was fired. Like their season was just whack. So it could be a good pick. And listen, here's my point with all this is I really feel like we have no idea where Jeremiah Love is going to go because you look at teams, there will be some teams, I hear people on podcasts make the case, hey, the Eagles signed Saquon Barkley in free agency and they went to the Super Bowl. So drafting a running back high is the same as investing a bunch in free agency. It can work. If you have a ready-made team to go, you can draft a running back high and it can work. And forget about positional value. Just take the guy that's the best player in the draft, maybe, and get on with it. But Kevin, there's going to be another strain of thought during the draft, and it hasn't creeped up yet, but I guarantee you it will during the draft, is there'll be people saying, Atlanta took Bijan Robinson. They took him top 10. And yes, he is spectacular, but they haven't won shit, and everybody got fired. So I just feel like we have no idea what's going to happen with Jeremiah Love, which leads me to this question. Do you feel like it will be malpractice if Mickey Loomis doesn't try to hedge at least a little bit at running back.
Oh, no, I could see. Look, he has to do something.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me we could get now, if you told me the options are we overspend at running back in free agency or we overspend at guard in free agency, I'm going to pick the guard.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to pick the guard
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week, twice on Sunday.
Would you feel comfortable, Kevin? Would you feel comfortable this? Saints. They overspend at guard, but we're in dreamland. They get Edwards, they get the guy from Pittsburgh's
Kenneth Gainwell?
No, I'm talking about at guard.
Right? Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna look down at my phone because I saved it, and it's Sia Malu. He's 32, but like let's say the guard market isn't as crazy as we think it might be, and the Saints go out and they're like, hey, we just spent $75 million on two guards, right?
Oh, okay.
So they spent $75 million on two guards, maybe they get a receiver, but they didn't do nothing, they don't do anything at running back.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this sets up perfect. We got Pittman at receiver, we got two new starting guards. Jeremiah Love, come on down at 8. But like you just said, Cleveland Browns at 6, take him.
Yeah.
Would you feel good enough to be like, no sweat? I'll get you. We'll do something we'll do something round 2, round 3, round 4. No sweat. We'll get a guy. How would you feel good about that?
If the plan, let's say that is the plan. I can react to you're putting me in a box and I can react to the box.
That's right.
Like as I'm reacting to this, I can react to the box like I'm a goddamn mime. Okay. The scenario being, we got the guards. The plan is if Jeremiah Love drops to 8, we're going to grab him. No, Jeremiah Love gets taken 1 or 2 picks before, curses. Okay. My immediate thought is look to trade down.
That's right.
Granted, the sun rises in the east. Oh, Kevin's talking about trading down again. But especially in a case like this, we were really hoping this guy lands to us at 8. Nope, doesn't happen. Move, get down, get down. Like as Schwarzenegger would say, trade down, get more picks in different rounds, whatever. That would be my first thing, because we're going to need to land in a couple of different spots in those 3rd and 4th round areas to potentially land somebody like an Emmett Johnson, who is projected to be a 3rd rounder.
Let's say, before I give my second choice of free agency, let's say you get your trade down dream scenario, but on the front end, no Jeremiah Love. Saints they've set the table to pick Jeremiah Love at 8. Somebody screws us. We're crestfallen. Oh, Mickey Loomis does the unthinkable. He just traded from 8 to 13 with the Rams. He gets 13 and he gets 61. Boom. You got 2 seconds, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 6th. Here's my question, though. If the Saints haven't done anything in free agency, if you were the Saints, would you say, you know what? We got some extra picks now. We got extra picks from the Shaheed trade. We got extra picks from this Rams trade down. We're going to double dip at running back. We couldn't get Love. We didn't like anything in free agency. I'm going to double dip. We're going to double dip at running back, and that will solve our problems. Would you be supportive of that?
It depends when we do the double dipping. If we go in there because look, you're looking at Jeremiah Love, then the next one is Jadarian Price, also from Notre Dame, then Emmett Johnson, then I think the number 4 guy was Katron Allen, and I think some other people might have had Nicholas Singleton in there. Hang on, I actually had a list in front of me earlier that I want to find. Oh, there it is. Oh, Jonah Coleman from Washington. So you had Jonah Coleman. So I'm trying to think of where these guys are in these mock drafts that I've been doing, or these big boards that I've been seeing. If you grab a Johnson or a Coleman in the third round, or even let's say you're in the second, don't grab if you get one in the second or third, don't grab one in the fourth or the fifth. At that
Wait.
point, take a flyer and use either that sixth round pick you have, or if you're trading back again, or if you're when you're doing that trade down with the 8 and you get something,
Yeah.
excuse me, and you do something and get an extra pick in the 7th or another pick in the 6th, whatever. Like, just give me that little. I look at those picks, like those extra 6th or 7th round picks, as little greasers. Like,
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Like grease the skids. And so when you get to that point later, okay, I've taken the one running back in the third round or the late second or whatever it is. I'm going to get one more. And then that way, why am I blanking on? I'm blanking on the damn guy's name. Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore can walk up to the podium and he can sell people on the fact that, hey, we are, I wanted to make sure that we felt good at running back and all this other, you can sell taking that second.
My thing is, if they double dip and you grab a guy, you grab a running back in the second, then you grab one guy in the 5th or the 6th, whatever. The second guy, I want him to be traitsy in this sense. Like, I want him to be like, he's undersized, but he flies.
I got a guy.
Oh, give me the name.
No. We're building to that.
Oh, okay.
Build to that. I'm just telling you right now. I'm building anticipation.
Building in suspense. I love it. So, but that's my thing. And listen, to me, Kevin, you know this. I am famously, as much as you dream about trading down, I love the transaction with the Saints. I love the free agent. I love the signings. I love trades. I love acquisition. I love all of it. But the thing that I've learned over time, watching Mickey Loomis, is the Saints go into free agency and their attitude is, we have to fill holes so we don't get boxed in the draft. And I can make a case when they've failed in the draft is because they got boxed in and they're like, well, shit, we got to have a, 2022, they traded with Philadelphia because they were like, well, we got salary cap issues. We got to get an offensive lineman. And so they traded, they traded with the Eagles and he drafted Penning. And I know for a fact that Penning was like low first round grade on their board. He was like in the low 20s on their board, and they drafted him in the top 20. They got put in a corner because they needed an offensive lineman, right? Marcus Davenport. They went into that offseason like, we need pass rushers. And they couldn't get up to get who they wanted, Chubb. So they got Davenport. It was like a second choice, but they're like, we need a pass rusher. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. When they do their best is when they're just like, hey, just take the best player available. Just get guys. And that's what I want them to do. I don't want them boxed into a corner at 8 because yes, Love could fall, but I worry about them. I worry about them panicking. And here's why, Kevin. I worry if they miss out on Love and he's the dream. I worry that they'll be like, oh my God, we got to get a running back, and they trade up and they're not patient. That's my fear. But
look,
give me some names.
My fear is always that Mickey Loomis
trades up.
Is going to trade up. So
like
it doesn't matter what the scenario is. I have that in general.
Yeah. What? But you're making me more comfortable because you're finding guys, and I like these guys, and I look at them, I like them, and it makes me more relaxed. I was thinking that, oh man, if you don't get Love, the fall off is a cliff. But you're saying no. There's guys you can get in these middle rounds. So give me some more names.
All right, hang on. Let me find this guy. I want to find him on this big list that I got here. All right, so this is a fella who he plays in the SEC.
Ooh, I like that.
He's a big guy. He's big for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he had a real good Senior Bowl, for those who care about that sort of thing. Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas. He's 6'2", 228.
Ooh, I like that.
He rushed for over 1,000 yards this past season.
Yeah.
Decent amount of, like low number of catches, but he played in all 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
So his last 2 seasons that I can see right here, played in 12 games in 2024, 11 games in 2023. Probably lower on the depth chart in 2023 due to those numbers that I'm seeing there. But
where is he in the mocks?
So in the mocks, he is being projected somewhere in the 4th or the 5th round. Let me find him here. PFF, who I do most of my mocks, not all, but most. He's currently ranked 160. Draft Buzz, what is this? Yeah, NFLDraftBuzz.com. They've got him. I'm still having trouble reading them. They vomit information at you like out of a cannon. Well, you guys are killing me, Smalls. He's ranked 8th out of the running backs.
I like
You're
it.
not helping me. Yeah, 8th out of the running backs. You're not giving me an overall number, which is kind of annoying.
Well, no, but I think listen, the general feeling is among draft fans like you and other people is like, well, you can always find a running back, and that's true. Like there will be running backs that you can find. Every draft, there's always guys in the later rounds. But
that's what I'm telling you.
Do you think it's not as hard to find a running back this year as some of the experts are claiming it will be? When you look at it, you're like, nah, they say it's hard, but nah, it'll be about normal.
If you want me to find, you want me to try and find a guy that projects well, that seems to have, numbers and good buzz about him or vibes or whatever later.
I love the
do
vibes.
that. I can do that.
Yes.
Maybe all of these guys are just completely washout. Maybe all of them do. Maybe it is, as the experts say. It is entirely possible that the people who really do watch everything.
Yeah.
And eat tape, they work 70 hours a week from 80 to 90 hours a week from January to May 1st, and they never see their wife or kids. Maybe they know, maybe they're really on to something. I don't know. I'm saying all that just to say that, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I think the idea that, you can't find, the idea that you cannot find a worthwhile running back after in rounds 4 and beyond, I disagree with that entirely. I will never I will never agree with that. Just ever. Ever. It could literally be guys who played 1 year in college and are trying to get in the NFL, and they could all look like garbage. And I'm still going to tell you, I found some numbers here somewhere, some measurables somewhere that say, hey, this guy could maybe be something behind in the right situation on the depth chart. I'll try and sell you on anything. Okay. Right, well, but the thing about Mike Washington, the thing that I like about him is that I've been reading about him is that he has power and speed. And the funny thing is PFF says he's 6'2", yet where was it? I just saw it. This was draftsharks.com. They said that at the Senior Bowl, he measured 6 foot and half an inch. So somewhere along the way,
He's a little off the inch and a
PFF
half.
has 6'2".
Well, the combine is coming up, so we'll get that. Hopefully they'll get that sorted out.
Yeah. Like that's the funny thing is you'll look at the measurables on PFF and PFN, and they could be as much as a couple inches off on some people.
Yeah, and I don't like when I'm drafted a running back in the middle rounds, like it sounds weird, but like I don't really give a damn about size. Like because most likely the running back, they probably aren't going to see their second contract. So like if they're too small or they're not, like whatever, just get me production right now and we'll deal with your durability and your longevity issues later. So Kevin, in my last free agent acquisition look around, I was trying to find like really cheap, but give me something like a specific skill set in a sense of, you remember like Travis Cadet for the Saints? Like Saints fans are like, oh, we got a Travis Cadet, blah, 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 Cheryl. But like,
wait, wasn't it Travaris?
Yeah, you're right. So, but his thing was like, he could catch the ball, right? He was a good receiver of the ball. So he had like a specific skill set that Peyton liked. So I'm trying to locate a guy in free agency. I'm like, what is a specific skill set that can work and can give the Saints a little something? My guy here, Kenneth Gainwell. He played with the Eagles. So Kellen Moore, familiar with him in 2024, right? He played with Pittsburgh last year, 537 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns, average 4.7 yards a run. That's nice. Long of 55. We like that. Receiving 73 catches, 486 yards. That's because Aaron Rodgers, in his decrepit old age, just became check down grandpa. But I like the skill set. He can catch. He can give you a little bit of an explosive, right? So that, he had 1,000 yards from scrimmage last year. So we like that. And he could come cheap. And it's another thing of like a hedge of like, you set the table for Jeremiah Love. You don't get Jeremiah Love. If you have Kamara and Gainwell and another guy, like you just said, Anderson, or one of the Penn State running backs you just mentioned, suddenly I feel okay at running back if the Saints do it at guard. And I just feel like he's a really interesting one. He'll be not a week 1 free agent guy. Kenneth Gainwell would be a guy where like week 2, it would be like, hey, he's coming to visit with the Saints. He's going to do a visit. Nick Underhill was tweeting, oh, is he, or Triplet or whoever. Be like, Gainwell's coming for a visit. He's very familiar. Him and Kellen Moore are very familiar. We'll see how it works. And then it's like, oh yeah, he signed a 2-year, $9.3 million deal with the Saints. Not a super flashy, won't make headlines, but he can be a useful player, I think, in free agency. So my question to you, do you have like give me your last running back guy?
No, I have 2 more.
Okay, 2 more.
This is a guy that is projected in round 6.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he was projected. Saints Wire ran a mock draft for the Saints earlier this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept this saved because I wanted to see if they took, who they were taking late. And this was actually their last pick. So it was, I don't think they made any trades here. No, they didn't make any trades. So what was that? Round 6, 189. Yes, it was. Pick 189. They took Robert Henry Jr. from UTSA, which, I think that's, what is that? University of Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, it is. University of Texas, San Antonio. So Robert Henry, make sure I got this right here. Sorry. Where'd the numbers go? Oh yeah, over 1,000 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns, 6.9 yards per carry. He's ranked 15th overall out of all the running. This is according to NFL Draft Buzz. 16th overall out of all the running backs. PFF has him 207th overall. So that does put him, what is that? That's 32 times 6. That actually would put him at the top of the 7th round.
Yeah.
But so if you did want him in the 6th round, he would be there.
Yeah.
He's had, he's got good numbers for the last 3 years of his collegiate career. He actually scored higher. The overall grade for PFF was actually higher for him in 2023, but he had a little bit more limited use. Yeah, this is a guy that, again, adding depth to the locker room, or adding depth at the position. Where the hell is my depth chart? Okay, Kamara is going to be here presumably one more year. Miller is probably gone. Like with all the variables that we're looking at, you throw Robert Henry in there, Robert Henry Jr., I should say.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a former JUCO guy. So
Yeah.
this was a guy who killed it at the JUCO level, got a ton of buzz, and managed to get enough buzz that he was able to transfer to the big time. I get it, UTSA, whatever, but went to a big college and ended up still doing something, like still performed at a high level. There was a I'm digging deep on this one. This is a story from 20 years ago. When the Saints got Colston in 2006.
Yeah.
And I think we had come back from training camp, and I was talking to Juan Kincaid at WWL, one of the sports anchors. I don't know if he still works there or not. Like I don't know, but good guy. I remembered I was sort of like ghostwriting a column for him based off of his notes and what he was thinking from, I think training camp I think it was training camp. And he was talking about Colston, and I'm paraphrasing this line, but it stuck with me. And he said, you can only play against the people that you're playing against. And it doesn't matter at what level it is. If you are really good at your level, you can, or you have the potential to make something happen at the next level. And again, I'm paraphrasing that.
No, that's a great point. I remember the old Eagles president or general manager Joe Banner used to say when he was with the Eagles, they did like an analysis, and what they found for like small school guys,
right,
is you don't want a small school guy that has transferred from like the SEC to a small school and then just been okay. What you want is the small school guy that just dominates. And that is a marker of, yes, you were at a small school and the level of competition, it was what it was, but you were the shit, right? And, we'll see. My last point on this is I'm going to make a case. You brought up Colston, and it made something go off in my head in 2006. In 2006, the Saints legendary draft. But what did they do in 2006? They double dipped at receiver. Mike Haas, pick 171. Marcus Colston, pick 252. They just double dipped.
Right.
One of them, he's out of the league. Never amounted to much from Oregon State. By the way, he was a draft darling in 2006.
He won whatever the wide receiver award. Right.
We loved him. I loved that.
I thought that was the guy.
Yes,
I thought, listen, I would be podcasting out of a box right now because I would still be in debt from the money I lost. I would have totally projected Mike Haas was going to be the guy and that somehow Zach Hilton was going to beat Colston out for tight end. I'm like, I had no idea that Colston was going to be the wide receiver, let alone great. So,
double dip. I think what this podcast has shown me is, yes, all the Saints need is love. But if they can't get love, what they need to do is hedge a little bit in free agency. And if you don't get love, don't be afraid to trade down and double dip at running back to solve your problems.
And I got one more. This is my last guy.
Okay.
This is if the Saints are in there, if the Saints somehow get a 7th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And look, this could be a 7th round pick, or this could be a undrafted free agent situation, depending on how things shake out. Because this guy is projected. Shoot, where did I pull that number? He's projected at 259 on PFF.
Mm-hmm.
Small school.
Oh yeah.
Played for Toledo. Previously played at Arizona State, Ohio State, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Bounced around.
The thing is, though, with the transfer, I know I just said, hey, you don't want a guy that goes from big school to small school. I think that was true when Joe Banner did that data research in the late 90s, early 2000s. But now with the portal, I don't know how the hell you ding people for transferring, because players just go all over.
Sure.
You might have a guy who's really good and just chases the money and plays at 3 different schools now. I mean, that's just the way of the world.
Now you wanted, what was the thing you said you wanted, like with those late round?
I wanted traits, and I wanted a particular, as Liam Neeson would say, a particular set of skills.
Okay. I've got you freakness. I've got you freak showness here.
Oh, I like it.
I've got a guy who in high school played both sides of the ball.
I love it.
As a junior, and again, I'm reading this off the thing. Okay, this is not like, oh, I research, but I'm reading from somebody else here. As a junior, ran for over 1,300 yards, 12.4 yards per rush. Now again, it's high school, but also recorded 8 sacks on defense. In college at Ohio State. This isn't some, fly-by-night operation here. It's not like he was playing for Delgado or whatever.
Don't discourage the Dolphins.
Played at linebacker for Ohio State before being like, you know what?
Not for me.
Get me in the backfield. and killed it there, and then finally ended up moving to Kentucky. Had a broken hand in 2024.
Yeah.
And the injury set him back further than expected. And then I think had an ankle injury. But 2025, he transfers to Toledo and has a really good season as the guy there. Over 1,000 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns, over 200 yards receiving, 5.6 yards per carry. PFF gives him a rushing grade of 80.4. His name is Chip Trayanum.
I like that. See, that's why you need those late picks. That's why you need those 6th, 7th round picks. So you can take those flyers. I like that. And I think, Kevin, I think this podcast has done a lot for me in this sense. Listen, Jeremiah Love, he's a freak. He's awesome. If he goes to the combine and he runs and he melts it down, we'll want him even more. We'll fall more in love with Love. But I think, to me, the two things, it's incredibly important Saints hedge. And thanks to you, I feel much better about the other running backs in the draft. And I think Saints fans should too. Like, let's not put all our hopes and dreams on Love. You know?
Yeah, that sounds like good advice for me.
Yeah, on that note, we'll end. Thanks, everybody, for watching us. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. Become a patron. Support the show. You should do it. We're giving you more content than anybody else. Thanks to Kevin. Thanks to Thomas, best producer on earth, editing the show back in Poland. Until next time, the bar is closed.